Hey there, foodies! Welcome to the Big Apple, where the food is as diverse as the city itself. Seriously, you can find anything here. You want a taco truck on every corner? Boom! You got it. You want a fancy five-star restaurant with a wait list longer than a giraffe's neck? Done. But today we're counting down the top 5 must-try foods in New York City. These are the classics, the legends, the foods that define New York eats. And trust me, you don't want to miss this. Get ready to loosen your belts, folks, because we're about to take a delicious ride. First up, we got to talk about the New York slice of pizza. Now, I'm not talking about that square-cut, thick crust stuff. I'm talking about those massive, thin-crust, foldable slices that are bigger than your head. You know the ones where the cheese is dripping, the sauce is tangy, and the crust has that perfect amount of char. Oh man, just thinking about it makes me want to dance. You can grab a slice for a couple of bucks from a street vendor or hit up one of the legendary pizzerias. Either way, you're in for a treat. And hey, don't be afraid to fold it in half. That's how the real New Yorkers do it. It's like a pizza hug in your hand. Next up is a New York institution, the Bagel and Lox. This isn't just breakfast, folks, it's an experience. Imagine this, a perfectly chewy bagel, toasted to golden brown perfection. Then you smear on a generous layer of creamy, tangy cream cheese. And finally, the piece de resistance, thinly sliced, melt-in-your-mouth lox piled high. Oh baby, you're in for a flavor explosion. Some folks like it with onions, tomatoes, capers, the works. But honestly, you can't go wrong with a classic. It's the perfect way to start your day or end your night. Hey, no judgment here. And now the New York cheesecake, a creamy dream. Okay, let's talk dessert. Because no trip to New York City is complete without a slice of New York cheesecake. I'm talking about that dense, rich, creamy cheesecake that's been perfecting itself for decades. You take a bite and it's like angels singing on your tongue. And don't even get me started on the crust. It's gotta be that perfect graham cracker crust. Just the right amount of buttery goodness. You can find it everywhere. From fancy restaurants to little hole-in-the-wall bakeries. Trust me, your taste buds will thank you. Street meat, don't cheat. Hot dogs on the go. Now, when you're in New York City, you're going to be on the move, exploring all the sights and sounds. And what's the perfect food for when you're on the go? A New York street hot dog, baby. These aren't your average hot dogs, folks. They're sizzling hot, juicy, and loaded with all the fixings. Mustard, ketchup, relish, sauerkraut, onions, you name it. They got it. It's the perfect quick bite to fuel your adventures. Plus, there's just something so iconic about grabbing a hot dog from a street vendor. It's like a rite of passage. And finally, the pastrami on rye, a New York state of mind. Last but not least, we gotta give it up for the king of deli sandwiches, the pastrami on rye. This is a sandwich that's been around for ages, and for good reason. You got that mountain of thinly sliced, juicy pastrami piled high on perfectly toasted rye bread. Add a little mustard, maybe some sauerkraut if you're feeling adventurous, and bam! You got yourself a masterpiece. It's messy, it's delicious, and it's a New York City classic. Just make sure you come hungry because this sandwich is a beast. Now get out there and eat. There you have it, folks. The top 5 foods you gotta try when you're in New York City. From pizza to bagels, cheesecake to hot dogs, and of course, the mighty pastrami on rye, New York City has something to tantalize every taste bud. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and start munching. And hey, if you try any of these delicious eats, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more delicious content. Stay hungry, my friends.